Hi everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I wanted to show you today the ink comparisons I did with 3 blue inks. Just the other day I made a video on my new 2 inks, but we'll just talk about this one for now, this Enchanted Ocean by Diamine, and it's part of their shimmer collection, which I also failed to mention, I believe, but there it is. So I bought this for commemorating a specific occasion, and that goes here with this. So when I was swatching this, I kind of remembered that my friend Kathy had sent me, and I've used a lot of it, but this sample of Wearing Gulls, The Old Man and the Sea. And I got to thinking, I wonder if those are really similar. So I did want to do a swatching on these cards to compare those. And when I was swatching this, of course, this is ocean, this is sea, but it made me think of another water titled ink. And that's this Ackerman Deep Water Blue is the English translation. I think it's actually Deep Dune Water Blue, based on a specific area in the Netherlands. But anyway, won't go into all that. A very unusual bottle and super fun to use if you're not familiar. Let me just show you real quick. Maybe you can't see, but there's like a little marble in there, little glass piece that allows you to turn the bottle upside down. Then it holds some ink at the top, so it's easier to get your pen nib in there and fill your pen. So we can move these off to the side. They're all similar and all different in other ways. Deepwater Blue definitely has a deeper navy tone, at least on these swatching cards. When I write with this in my typical paper, the journals that I use on an everyday basis versus this like swatching kind of cardboard type stuff, it's not quite so deep. But you can see a rust sheen, which is pretty cool. And then the one that I bought for commemorating the view of San Diego Bay flying out is more of a medium teal blue on the card anyway, with a bit of kind of a coppery red sheen and the silver shimmer, which really does do a good job of depicting what I saw out the plane window. And then Old Man in the Sea has a lot of similar elements, really. The shimmer is not as pronounced, and maybe it's because I didn't get as much of the shimmer element on the cotton swab, but they are similar. They are quite similar, and I really liked writing with this, and I'm loving writing with this too. So they're both very good. I think the blue on this one is slightly deeper, or maybe more grayed, or maybe this is a little more teal leaning. So I thought it'd be fun to show you the chromatographies for these 3 inks, but I have them not in order because I want to play a game. So in your mind, you decide now which of these chromatographies go with which one of these. Let me show it to you this way. And you might have guessed, this is Deepwater Blue. Now we have these 2. Let's go with this one. Is it Old Man in the Sea, or is it Enchanted Ocean? And since I forgot, I'm going to look. Old Man in the Sea. And then, of course, this one is Enchanted Ocean. But I might have guessed, if I didn't know, I might have guessed that one. But it is actually this one. So you can see from the chromatographies, there's a bit of a difference. Obviously much more of a blue element in Deepwater Blue. kind of fades to a lighter blue with a little line of darker again. And then the Enchanted Ocean, you can see the green element at the top, more grayed here, and I don't know, what would you call that middle part? I don't know how to describe that. Maybe well, kind of tealy up here, and I don't know there, but it seems to me to be much more obviously gray on the Old Man and the Sea. So a lot of gray, then this deepened color. I don't know if that's dark green or black, and then a lighter blue. So this really peaked with a lot of lightness to it. That's kind of fun to compare, I think. Love doing this. It just brings out the hidden scientist in me. That's the best kind of science, fountain pen ink discoveries. So that is that with those. I thought that was super interesting, and if you're interested in any of these inks, it might help you decide if you want to go ahead and try a sample or buy a bottle. I'll file these later in my little notebook thing. I have shown it. I'll just show you again real quickly, but it's like kind of like a little business card book, but it's for ink swatches. So those will go in there later for future reference. And I thought it would be good to show you my November currently inked. Those have switched a bit over the past several weeks. Those are my two new inks from the other day. I think we'll just go ahead and do it on this page. So then I won't be using up all the paper. This is this one, Marone. Am I saying that correctly? Possibly not. Marone Mustard by Robert Oster. I just refilled this with my new bottle. I had received a sample from Sherry, and I loved it, and I really wanted to buy a bottle of it. Really liking that. When the nib is primed, it you have enough ink in there, it flows so nicely, and it's worked well on a lot of different papers. And then I have had this inked up a lot over the past several months since receiving it with when I did a swap with my pen friend Cherise. And this is a Noodler's ink. This is golden brown, which has such opportunity for variety. Sometimes it comes out this golden brown. It has great shading. Sometimes it's more dirtied looking, and by that I mean the particulate that is in there will come out of the pen more intensely. It's a good idea to agitate this ink, I've been told, before writing. I don't always remember to do that. Since this is a eyedrop filler, that would probably be helpful. Don't always remember, but I love kind of the surprise element, not knowing exactly what the ink's going to turn out like, but something within that range, of course. I selected that color for this Opus 88 broad-nibbed blue sapphire pen. One, I liked the contrast, but also there is an element of matching. Sorry for the beeps in the background. Right here you can see this golden color in this beautiful pen, and I just thought that was kind of a neat way of coordinating it without it being matchy-matchy. Next, I've used my Opus 88 broad-nibbed orange demonstrator pen with another Noodler's ink, which also has amazing shading qualities. And this one is Southwest Sunset. See, a little something going on there. Formerly known as Apache Sunset. So if you have either of those, they're the same ink. Love this too. I love the dimension. I love the shading. And I really, really enjoy using those summertime and fall especially. And then in my Bennu, this is the Talisman model. And this particular colorway is frankincense. It's a very beautiful pen. This reminds me so much of pineapple. My son Drew had said that when I got it. I'm like, yeah, they should have called it pineapple. Just kidding, but it does remind me of pineapple. And then you know how on a fresh pineapple, if you peel it, you have those little indents of brown in there. It really could be pineapple. So anyway, this ink is Colorverse Martian. And boy, this is another excellent shader. Doing, oh my goodness, it's so pretty. Can you see the shading on Martian? As I look through my phone, I'm not seeing it, but in person, there's a ton of it here. And of course, when you print, it has the opportunity to pool a little more. If it's not showing up, you have to take my word for it. It's a great amount of shading. But don't you love these for fall? These are my happy place in the color world. This has been super good. I've loved all of these. I am going to clean these out because what I do is I get too many pens inked up. I start out maybe with a few, and then the mood hits me to, oh, I want to try that ink and that pen, and I do it because this is a hobby, kind of a lifestyle, but a hobby, really. It's not something I have to do. It's something I love to do, and I think I should enjoy it. So if I want to ink up one of my pens, I ink up one of my pens, and if it starts to feel like too many, then I clean some out. This one's getting close to being empty anyway, and that gives me opportunity to use new ones, which or switch up the rotation. This is my Leonardo Momento Zero. It's a broad nibbed pen. It's blue-green lagoon. And people have said before, oh, it's there's another one that's similar. And I can't remember the name of that colorway, but this is the blue-green lagoon. The blue is more distinct in it than another similar color model. Anyway, in here I have my newest, well, one of my newest, Enchanted Ocean. And I'm really, 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 really liking this combination. It's working great on lots of papers. It works nice on Stalogy, but it doesn't have the same, it's a little more absorbent on Stalogy, but it works fine on the Cosmo Air or B7 Natural. It has more beauty, more depth to it, but it is working well on the maybe somewhat less fountain pen friendly Stalogy paper. The other one I have inked is a newer pen to me. This is the Lamy Lux Dark Brown. It's this shiny aluminum, there's a word for it, I can't remember the kind of finish. Sometimes this looks more dark, and other times it takes on sort of kind of a rose gold or a pinkish hue in there somehow. I love the copper looking clip and the copper or rose gold type end pieces there. Whoops, do it the right way. So in here I have a nice wet ink. Oh, and I did put in a broad nib when I think I bought this in a medium. I might be getting confused now. Can't remember. Don't like the medium as well. I like the broad a little bit better. So this is Lamy Lux. Oh, I wasn't talking about the pen though. I'm talking about the inks. This is Diamine Winter Spice. Can you tell from where you're watching how gushy of an ink that is? It's super wet, super flowy with this pen. It just, ooh, it's so nice. And it's kind of fun how there's a little bit of sheen on my black nib there. This ink is a brown base. It has green sheen and blue shimmer. When I first saw it on Marcy Me on YouTube last year, I just love those elements combined, and that did it for me, and that became a purchase of a full bottle. I've recently inked up my Pilot Custom 823 medium nib. This is the amber color. This is a vacuum filler. Let's see if we can squeeze it in here. My friend Katie at Holy Fire Scribble sent me this ink, this Lee Dete. And it's pretty full, so I guess she just didn't like it or whatever, but I'm enjoying trying this ink out. It's a nice, true brown. Sometimes I think of a true brown as being like a crayon brown, and that's what this reminds me of. It definitely has more warmth to it, but it's just kind of a nice, basic brown. And so let's write that down. This is Lee Dete. It's an Urban ink. Yeah, I think that's all needed to write on that one. It's working really nicely with this pen, and I kind of like the way the colors work together. I'm going to keep these going. I've been using this a lot with my planner in the kitchen, so it just kind of sits with my planner and my daily journal writing. I'm going to focus on these three for now, and I will empty these out. Delightful combinations, but I'm like, it's that ebb and flow, so now we're ebbing, and I don't want to have all those inked. I am keeping this brass Kaweco inked with, can you guess what this one is? It's a black ink. This is Noodlers, another Noodlers. And this is Heart of Darkness. It's a great black ink. It's a good wet ink, and I have trouble with my Kawecos. When they work, I love them. When I can't get a good combination, I'm frustrated with them. This is a broad nib, and with this Noodler's Heart of Darkness in it, it is just so nice to write with, and it works on any of my papers, from my most favorites to my least favorites, but ones that are currently being used. This nice little combination has worked well for all of the paper. It just flows well, and sometimes, I don't know if you're like me, sometimes you just want to write with black ink. I'm enjoying color now that I'm in the fountain pen world, but sometimes just that standard black, and then if you decorate your pages like I do, that can be the focus, in the black is just sort of works as a neutral of sorts. So those are my currently inked for November. However, 3 of them are going to be going away, and I'll keep these 5 going. And this one, I mean, I use it for everyday journaling, but I'm right now keeping it on my planner. I'll show you my little thingy here. This is an item I got at the St. Louis Pen Show, and it was at a journaling workshop, and this was donated by somebody who didn't want to use it anymore. I snatched it up, feeling a little guilty about it, because I'm like, do I really need that? I already have pen things. And my friend Kathy said, well, take it, and if you end up not liking it or not using it, you can pass it on to somebody next year or in the meantime. So I thought that was good advice, and I do like to switch this up with my Euroliku pouch, which this is such a great little pouch. Some people have wondered about this flipping part, and it has not been a problem. It generally kind of just stays in place, but if I do want to reach behind there and grab a sticker or a little blotting thing or whatever, super handy. It is getting a little worn looking, and it needs a little bit of cleaning, but these are kind of similar. This holds really a lot more than you would think, and it expands pretty much in depth, so it's a good little case. But this is working with my setup now, and it's just kind of fun to mix it up. That is all. I hope this was fun for you. Hope you're enjoying your day, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.